What?
I forgot to turn my light on already. We're fine. It's
nice.
okay. I'm recovering. We're all good. Guess what, Judd?
Go on.
I played the special music when we're having a special podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
today
All right.
is all. It's a good one. It's a big old. We don't have to limit the time or anything like that. Because I've been training so much. We don't have to do any of that stuff. I've been training for a boxing fight for a long time, and it's done. We did it. And we won! Here we go! Yay!
Are you playing the victory music?
Yeah.
I can't hear it. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I'm playing it. It's good. I won my fight. There, we got it out of the way.
Yeah. You did.
There's not much reason to tease it very much. I won the fight, and today's podcast is pretty much all about that. Okay? I want to talk about it from start to finish, from like start of my training, start of the night, all of that sort of stuff. We'll have some little breaks in between for other little topics, but that's it. It's the fight podcast. It's the one where we talk about the fight. You were there, Judd?
I was there. I was at the fight. I didn't do any fighting. I mainly sat there and drank while I watched other people fighting, which was really fun.
Just like I'm doing right now. We both are. We're both doing it right now.
Yeah. Yep.
It's great. It's good to be back being an alcoholic on the podcast again. I had to take a break for a couple months, but now it's fine. I've got myself a big old crate of beer, and in fact, I want to start off with a shot. Judd doesn't have to do a shot, but I will do a shot because it's also been my anniversary with my girlfriend recently, and she got me some honey whiskey. So I'm going to be reviewing really quick. The first thing I'm going to be doing is reviewing Beeble Original Honey Whiskey.
Nice.
I'm gonna open it right now. It's a tiny bottle. Let's give it a sniff. Oh no, it smells like whiskey. It's I've not drunk in a long while. So my alcohol tolerance, I didn't realise it'd go down so much. Like we've been able to handle alcohol very well, like for a long time. So well that it's been actually a massive annoyance when we wanted to get drunk. But I swear to God, Judd, don't drink for like 2 months and you'll get drunk. I promise you. I had like... Well, we'll get to it. I'll do a little sip of this first.
This is what I said. I've been saying because I went through a long time where I didn't drink anything and I pretty much just only smoked. And like when I did drink, it was like, oh my God. I feel... Do you remember that first night we had out around town when I was like... I just turned 18 and I got really, really drunk. And I think, did I tackle a bin? Oh, it's a lamppost.
Oh, no, that was before you were used to getting drunk, that.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I've just done the honey whiskey shot, the Beeble. It comes with a little shot glass as well, which is quite nice. And it is delicious, actually. Delicious. I'm not going to have it all today. Very good. Beeble. It's... nice and honey. You can taste the honey. The bees that made the honey for this whiskey were like brought down to and released at Chelsea Flower Show with all the like fancy flowers and all that shit. So should have made some good honey from that. I don't know. It's nice. It's good. Very good. That's maybe my favourite honey whiskey I've ever had. Actually, that. Often it's not necessarily my favourite whiskey ever, and it's not my favourite spirit ever. Because I mean. Bumbu, please sponsor us. I mean, we need a sponsorship by Bumbu Spiced Rum. It's one of the things I put on my Christmas list, actually.
I was just going to say, that's my granddad's Christmas present is going to be a bottle of Bumbu.
Are you going for Bumbu Classic or Bumbu Black?
Bumbu Black.
Ooh, that's the fancy one.
Yeah, I'm getting him the fancy one for Christmas.
Do you know, Bumbu Black on Amazon, I believe, let me just look it up right now, and a normal sort of price for it, which, bear in mind, it's a special edition, is about £35. Well, it's £38.87 for the black edition, which is supposed to be the fancy one. And then the standard edition is £32 on Amazon. That's the cheapest I've known it being, unless it's on offer. In Harvey Nichols, which is like a kind of fancy department store, it's like £50.
God.
It's like, what? It's literally just marked up just because rich people can go, I could spend £32 and have it tomorrow, or I could spend £50 and just have it right now.
Have it today.
So it's
but
like-
knowing me, I'll probably forget to actually order the Mumbo and then be like, shit, I need to go out and buy some now.
Yeah, but then you could just go to Asda anyway and get it for £35 rather than your £50.
Oh, well, I'll just do that then.
Asda's
Okay.
standard price for it is £35 for the normal bottle. It
All
was
right,
like £45 for the normal bottle in Harvey Nichols. My only point with that is Harvey Nichols is one of those rip-off shops that just make sure rich people spend a lot of money because they like to spend more money than they really need
Well,
to.
I mean, fair enough. Good on them, to be honest. You know.
Give me some of that money is what I want.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously that's the ideal situation, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay, so
It might do. I don't know. Mr. Beast likes to do that. Say that you've got like some sort of horrible disease.
Where
tell
does
him
that
about
come into this whole thing?
Tell him about your what is it where you associate certain like colours with letters and numbers
Synesthesia.
and stuff. Yeah. Maybe Mr. Beast will give you like $1 million because he has synesthesia.
Fucking idiot. Right, look, Judd, we're getting into it, okay? I'm going to go through, like,
Okay.
if people don't know what's happened, if this is the first podcast they're ever listening to, I competed in a charity boxing fight where people could donate to support Cancer Research UK. You could get tickets to come watch it, all of that jazz. And I would be fighting someone else who was training for it as well. And yeah, that's it was fighting to raise money for cancer research. Shall we see how much I actually raised for cancer research on that note, Judd?
Yes.
Because a lot of people donated after the fight itself. I'm not spoiling the result of the fight yet. I mean, I already have if you've watched my YouTube video. But I've raised £750.
Nice.
Now, I'm lucky
Nice
that's
one.
happened after I fought, because one of the things I said I would do if we raised £750 before the fight is I would shave my head. Now, the fight has been and gone, so I'm all right, basically.
Oh no, you pussy! I think you should do it.
Well, look, what I will say is, if enough people complain and call me a bad person about not doing it because we reached the goal after the fight, which is what I did say, to be fair, that was like the stipulation, but if enough people bitch and moan about it, then I'll probably do it. But yeah, we reached essentially every other goal that we set for fundraising. I thought that, like, if I reached £200, that's good going, and I'd be pleased with myself. I never thought £750. That's fucking insane, isn't it? Can you imagine? Honestly, it blows me away. I feel like if I'd have really pushed more, like I did a fair amount of fundraising. The amount of like editing and publishing videos and all sorts of updates and like incentive and stuff. I did quite a lot, and we raised $750. I could have probably done a little bit more if I'd have wanted to, but I was making sure I was focused on like training and that. If I'd done a bit more, fundraising, maybe gone out and asked for donations on the street, I don't know. We're looking at, I could have raised maybe £1,000. That's insane. I can't believe we reached $750. And Judd didn't even donate.
Yes,
What
I
a
did.
little
What?
bitch.
I did.
He did donate. It's just I wanted to make him look bad. Yeah. So there you go. What did we do? What were all the things that I did? So what was the first thing I did? I did a leg wax. We got some like proper strong leg waxing things and did a, ouch, leg wax, hurty hurt. Then I did, we did a spicy boxing challenge.
We did.
Where I had shots of increasingly spicy sauce and we boxed for rounds after that. Judd got absolutely tired out, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, I was fucked. I was absolutely fucked.
Can you imagine what it would have been like if I'd have been as good as I was on the night fighting you doing that challenge?
Oh no, I don't want to think about it.
Because it was
I'm getting tired thinking about it now.
I feel like I took it up like a few levels from when we did that challenge.
Yeah,
it looked like it on the footage that I got, at least. And then what was next? What did I do after that? Oh, I jumped in a cold lake.
You jumped
in my
the
pants. Did you like that? Did you watch that bit of the video I did?
I don't know. I don't think I did. I don't think I watched that one.
Judd doesn't watch my videos.
I don't watch your
What
videos.
a fucking traitor, am I right, folks? what is that about? What a little
I'm not
bitch.
I'm not into it all. You know, I find you a bit annoying, to be honest.
I'm not into supporting people. Actually,
I'm not into supporting my family.
Oh dear. So we did that, and then the last goal that was hit before the fight was £500, which was to buy some ridiculous ring shorts to wear for the fight. I did buy them. I would have worn them for the fight, but they didn't arrive in time. So I did mention that if they don't arrive in time, the consolation prize is I'll go and wear them out in public. So when they do arrive, I will be doing that, and
Nice.
I'll honour that agreement. I figured I've probably got some Christmas shopping to do at some point soon, so that could be a good time to go around.
I think that's fair. I did wonder on the night when I saw you come out. I was like, oh, I wonder, because I thought you'd got them, but I thought that like they didn't. They were like, no, you got to wear ours or something. But
well, everyone had to wear their vests, their gloves, their head guard. But you could wear what shorts you want and what shoes you wanted. Having said that, the plan was I would have brought those silly shorts, put them on, and if anyone would have said, no, you can't wear them, I'd have brought my proper, backup decent shorts as well, and gone, okay, fair enough. I wouldn't have even said, oh, please, it's part of my fun. I wouldn't have even challenged it. I'd have just gone, oh, yeah, fair enough. And I'd have, because I said right from the beginning that backup plan, it's fine. So that was that. And then, I think getting to fight day then. So I expected to. Sorry, folks. I know you want to hear about fight day, but I've got to interrupt it because I've got this. One sec.
Oh, go on.
You ready? Listen.
On.
Make sure you put your nice headphones on. Ready?
I'm listening. I'm turning you up. Go on.
I got beer everywhere.
Nice.
I don't know why I did it like whenever I'm drinking beer on the podcast, I like to crack the beer into the microphone. And obviously, you hold the beer upright to stop it spilling. And I must have forgotten how to drink beer in the time that I've not, because I just completely I had it like almost sideways, and I just spilled beer everywhere. Right, that was the only interruption.
That's such a me move as well.
That is something you would do.
That's something I'd absolutely do.
Fight night then. So the night before the fight, I was thinking I'd prepared myself that week. I was like, fight the night before the fight, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be excited. All of that. Yeah. It's going to make it really hard to sleep, and I'm prepared for that. And I'm not going to let myself stress very much over the fact that I'm not going to have got that much sleep for the fight. Because it'll be the same with everyone. I was thinking that. Well, guess what, Judd? Yeah. I got a right night's sleep. It was brilliant.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna lie.
I tell you what, that is a twist. That is.
I really had trouble sleeping for so long. I had a great night's sleep. I got like 10 hours sleep uninterrupted. It was fantastic.
Wow.
I loved it.
That's impressive.
I actually can't, that's actually potentially the most impressive thing from the whole ordeal.
That's more impressive than you winning the fight.
No, you blew it! You spoiled it, Judd.
You said earlier that you won. You literally said at the start of this podcast that you won.
Oh,
yes, you did. You went.
Oh my
you
god!
Idiot.
I'm just too giddy, I'm too giddy. Fair enough. Yeah, no. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, I won. Okay, we'll go through it. So I woke up. I was like, I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's all fine. I kind of said a big surprise as well for me was I woke up and there was fucking snow everywhere. It's just snowing, and I took it as like a blessing from the Norse gods that I love so much that things were gonna be good on that day. My family was like playing in the snow behind the house and that.
I actually because I heard like it going crazy outside like early morning of that day.
Yeah.
And I scared me a bit because I was like, oh god, I hope, because I got up because it was that bad. I was like, fucking, I want to see what's going on out there. and it was that bad that I was like, "Is this thing gonna get cancelled?" Because
Yeah.
I was like, that would be just his luck, and also I do think I was like, if it gets cancelled, I think he might kill himself.
I was just gonna say, if it got cancelled, my life would have been cancelled as well, probably.
Yeah.
No, I had confidence that it was going to be fine. I did check just in case. The partial worry was that people might not make it, but it seemed like loads of people made it. Roads weren't too bad anyway. It was just that there was a lot of snow. Other than that, so I weren't too worried. The only person that was potentially going to be coming that couldn't make it was my friend Georgina. She was going to be bringing one of her friends, who I didn't even know, to be honest. It was just, there was a spare seat for one of her friends, and she was, she was going to bring, but she was complete. This friend she's got must live in middle of nowhere because she was completely snowed in, and not only that, her house lost power. So
God.
it was like they didn't have much food left or anything. They were completely snowed in, and I was like, okay, fine, cool, and I was all good. I did say to Georgina, she was a little bit snowed in, but I said, if you need like any help, I might be able to help out, because I know that my car's like fairly decent in the snow. It's only a Ford Fiesta, but I know it's like it's new and it's got like a snow mode and it's pretty decent. So
in the end, all it meant was that I got a seat on the fancy VIP table. So
yeah, basically, yeah. I did think that. That was pretty good. The reason I didn't invite you to the VIP table was because I knew that our dad and his partner were coming, and I thought it were a bit tight for you to just like leave them, but they didn't seem that bothered anyway, and we'll get to it. It ended up working out fine for everyone anyway. But so I woke up fight morning, saw it was snowing, I had a bit of fun. The first thing I did was put on Eye of the Tiger very loud on my speaker and open the window and go hello to everyone, and it was good. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
I nearly started singing the Rocky theme tune then instead of Eye of the Tiger. It's you know that one. So
yeah, I know that one.
So I did that. I don't know. I didn't really do that much. I showed my mum slowly some of the combinations that I was planning on doing, because I knew my opponent and all that. But like some of the combinations I'd planned that I wanted to try and implement, some of the things I wanted to do. I had lunch at about 12 and made sure that I had a reasonably decent sized lunch, because I knew that the earliest I would be fighting would be about 5:30, and I'd done some research and things like that and found it is better to fight on a bit of an empty stomach, because if you think about it, your organs need blood and kind of resources to digest. So at that point, you don't want to be wasting your resources on that. It's not very many resources to digest stuff, but like, well, unless you've had a massive meal, but you know, you want to do as much as you can. So
yeah,
I had a fairly big bit of lunch, not very big, but like definitely not small, so that it would last me until after the fight. But you know, I was trying to time it, and I brought a thing of apples with me so that I could have snacks if I needed. And what did you have for lunch on fight night?
I can't remember having lunch, but I did have a big breakfast. I just
English, 20 rashers of bacon.
Yes. It was shit like that. It was like I made eggs and bacon and sausage. I made it, yeah.
I thought your grandma would have made it, because I can imagine she would make a banging breakfast. I don't know why, but I picture that.
So actually, the cook of my house isn't Nan, though. Nan is a good cook. It's Grandad.
Oh, really?
Grandad is a really, really good cook.
That surprises me, actually. I thought it would be your Nan, and I thought she'd do a really good breakfast. I bet in that case, then, I bet your Nan does have a signature dish that she does to perfection.
I'm trying to think. I don't see Nan. Really, it's more baking. It's more bacon and cakes and stuff.
That makes sense because that is adorable, and she is the most adorable lady on the planet. So, I had an omelette and some meat slices and a bit of I had a carrot and some veg. So at that point, I had to set off. I was there really early, so the doors for the VIPs to enter was at 4:30. In the afternoon, but I had to be there between 2 p.m. and 2:30. So we were there a good while. We were waiting around a lot. So we got there. We were just hanging around for ages. I saw my opponent, who I got on with quite well. He's probably my best friend who were there. And so it was. I could tell that he didn't quite have the same attitude to us being paired together as me. He kind of did a bit because he couldn't help it, because my attitude was, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to act the exact same around you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll be as friendly as I always am. I don't give a fuck. It's fine. We're having a fight. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we used to punch the shit out of each other when we're sparring, but we were sparring. We weren't.
We used to when we spar almost as hard as like an actual fight. We spar harder than people normally do, and I think that's a good thing personally. If you're only sparring one person once a week, I think that helped a lot actually. Just that little bit of us being used to it did genuinely help with being able to keep that attitude of wanting to still be friendly around him. And that was almost part of the plan, because I thought that I'd feel a bit weird to someone who wasn't me. I thought that I'd maybe throw someone off a bit, that why is this person I've got to punch in the head in later being so nice to me? I thought that might throw someone off a bit. Because I think he wanted a bit more to be a bit more determined. I don't know if that's because he was more nervous than me or what, but so it was weird. I didn't feel nervous at that point. I still just felt excited.
Yeah.
We had to have a medical check. We got kind of told the rules and what would happen with the photographer and kind of the running order and things like that, and we had to have a medical check as well. We had to fill in a form, and there was some controversy on the medical form, though, Judd, because
controversy,
yeah, because there was a bunch of questions like, you got diabetes? You ever peed blood out your cock? Are you blind?
Yeah.
All the questions they have to ask you. And one of the questions was a trick question to make sure you weren't just checking no on everything. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So one of them was, does the number 12 come after the number 11? Now, no one was just flicking through the nose on it. Everyone, answered how they were supposed to. But everyone was saying, well, that depends on whether you're counting upwards or downwards. And I agree, because the number 11 does come after the number 12 if you're counting downwards, okay? Stupid medical form. So,
yes.
And some of the lads, genuinely, they put yes, which is the answer that they obviously wanted. But there's notes at the bottom that said, if you answer yes to any of these questions, please give details. And some of them put, if you're counting down, the number 11, just because, they explain the full thing. Wrote it out.
Nice.
And I applaud them. Not physically, just metaphorically.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking, I applaud them.
Because if I did it physically, that'd be weirder than typing out the fact that the number 11 could come after the number 12. So, that's exciting. Medical form controversy. Ooh.
Nice. Ooh.
And then we had to be checked for our medicals and that. We had our blood pressure measured. And then we got asked some questions by another lady who was, one of the EMT type people. One of the questions they asked, for starters, they did that thing where they shine the light in your eyes to see if your eyes expand properly and things like that and focus, right? Yeah. And she was doing mine a little bit longer than I would have liked, and I was like, oh fuck, there's something wrong with my eyes, isn't there? It's going to be one of those things where I feel like I'm normal, but apparently I'm like blind in one eye for like 20 years.
It's just like, Jake, can you just grab this pen for me? And you go, sure. And like you're grabbing her like a bit away from it. She's like, go on, just grab the pen.
I'm like going, whoa, that's a weird trick pen you got right there.
That's a fancy pen you got there.
No, it's a hereditary thing where one of my pupils is just slightly bigger than the other. My mum's the same, and I think my grandma's the same as well. So she said, is one of your pupils normally bigger than the other? And I went, yeah, I think so. My mum's is the same. That was that. One of the questions they asked was, have you had any surgeries within the past year? And I probably thought about it suspiciously longer than I should have, because I know I haven't. But it's because I know I've had a surgery, so I just wanted to double check in my brain that it wasn't within the past year. So I said, no, not within the past year. And she went, when did you have a surgery? I said, well, I broke my arm, and I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 4. And when I checked, like after the fight, it was 3 years ago. So she just noted that down. It was fine. It wasn't an issue. So that was that. And then they made us wait around for ages. And we will get into the rest of that sort of shit a little bit later, because I want to break things up. We'll get into like what happened when fights start and all of that sort of thing in a little bit. But first, Judge.
Okay, I kind of want to. I just want to say before we get into like fight the fight. If we could split between the shit that I was experiencing during the fight as well, because
let's
I
get
also
both takes of each thing. So up to that point, you were just at home at this point, weren't you? You were maybe getting ready, getting your suit on and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you can maybe describe the big controversy of you getting ready and your suit and everything, actually.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, this is when we're actually getting ready to leave. And Jake had sent me a dress code, like a proper dress code that they'd said
multiple times.
Multiple times,
and I told you every single week on the podcast.
I essentially, what I heard was, oh, black tie, suit. I'll get a suit and a nice shirt and a black tie, and I did. I got all those things.
Describe it. Give us it, Jody. It was a nice suit. It was good.
It was, so nice black jacket.
I'll see if we can get a picture up.
Dark black tie, nice sort of purple shirt. Nice.
Yeah, I liked the shirt. The shirt was good.
Yeah. It were a nice suit. Now, as nice as the suit it was, I'd neglected to actually read the dress code that you sent me, and realised that jeans weren't allowed. I mean, I was going in jeans, and I got in, and my dad the thing is, they didn't look like jeans at all.
Yeah,
really.
to be fair, they're like black skinny jeans. They weren't like blue jeans, like faded blue jeans.
Yeah, they weren't like faded blue jeans or anything like that. They were black smart jeans, and they matched the suit as well.
Were skinny jeans though, not straight leg.
Yes, but it all like worked, and Dad didn't even notice, and Nat didn't notice, and I was in the car, and they were like, oh, what have you got then? Like, what you're wearing? Because it was quite dark when we set off, quite dark in the car. I was like, oh, I've got, like I just said, I got the jacket, the shirt, the tie, and everything, and I've got these black jeans on, and like Dad pretty much immediately stopped the car, and he like turned around and went, "You're wearing jeans?" I was like, yeah, I'm not allowed to wear jeans. It was like, no, it says it on the fucking dress code. I was like, oh, damn it.
It did say on the fucking dress code. It specifically says in massive letters, no jeans. That's one of the things that it specifically says.
So I ran back. I was like, all right. Okay, all right, no worries. I've got some suit trousers like in the house. I'll just go run and put them on. So I went to go and put them on, and then I put them on, and I was like, wow, these don't even begin to fit up around my fat ass. I'd had them for like 2 or 3 years. So like, and I've obviously gotten fatter since then. So I was like, I'm going to have to just fucking go in these jeans. But it wasn't a problem. I got there, and nobody noticed. Nobody said anything.
Oh, you ended up in the jeans. I didn't even notice that you ended up in the jeans.
Yeah. I ended up in the jeans. And that's what I
right.
was wearing on the night. So that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. It's like they didn't even look like jeans. They were smart.
Yeah. They were fine. That is quite funny. That's so typical of you as well. It really is.
That is a me moment.
little-
I really thought I outshined myself as well. I was like, I've gone out and I've bought this
down a
suit.
little bit, Judd.
All right, I've gone out and I've bought this suit. I've done the thing. I look smart, and they were like, "You're not supposed to wear jeans, you cunt."
Oh, I couldn't believe. I messaged you or something, didn't I? Saying like, are you here yet? Where are you? And you said, "Oh, we've got to come back because I've got jeans." Or someone told me, and rather than think, "Oh, for fuck's sake, what is he doing?" Rather than be mad, I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, we've got to do the bit where Judd's fucked something up before he's allowed to come."
That's the thing. You gotta factor in the fact that I'd fucked something up. That's the.
You got to compensate for it, aren't you? You can turn it up the tiniest bit, Judd. It's so sensitive, that mic. Anyway,
how's that?
I've got a report for you. Because the next day after the fight, it's not to do with the fight, don't worry. We're not skipping story or anything. The next day after the fight, my mum made a confession to me about this podcast.
This podcast? Okay.
Yeah. She listened to one of the episodes. Oh no! And not only did she listen to a random episode, not only did she listen, she didn't just listen to any old episode. She didn't even listen to the latest episode, just to get a flavour for what it was. She specifically listened to the 100 episodes special, and
oh no! Oh my God! Well,
you don't remember what we talked about? The first thing we talked about in the 100 episode special, dear Judd. The very first thing we talked about was the fact that my mum had bought a Shiwi. Do you remember what that is?
Oh, the Shiwi!
If you don't know what that is, this is essentially like a silicone, like kind of rubberized cone that ladies can put over the vagina to make it so that they can funnel their piss into a bottle or something like that. And she got one in case she is she got one in case she ever is held up on the motorway or something like that on the way to work.
Can I just say that sounded like I was being sexist? Like I'm like, yeah, so she can piss like a man. but no, I mean it's more convenient for a man to piss than it is a woman.
Yeah. But so she got one, and I was telling you all about it, and somehow, by some miracle, that's the one podcast she's ever listened to. And I even said on it, it's a good job she doesn't listen to these podcasts. She listened to.
God.
So she made sure to tell me that I've got to report back to you about her experience with the Shiwi.
Oh, she's used it. How did it go?
She tried it out, and she said, "It does work, thanks," and that's all she said.
Nice. Well, good. Listen, she's made the purchase. It's worked. Sure.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to tell you, basically, that she had tried out the Shiwi, and it's gone well. It's gone well.
Nice.
Actually.
Good.
Okay,
good,
on that note, it's time for this one.
That's it.
Which is this one?
This segment is called This Is Why You Are Wrong. It's a segment where I present Judd with a premise, he gives his stance on that premise, and I try and convince him why his stance on that premise is wrong. So, we're not going to do any Christmas-themed podcasts this year. Spoilers. We're not going to do any.
We're not going to do.
What we are going to do is have one Christmas-themed chat for every podcast in December. That should be 4 podcasts, I believe. So today's topic is going to be Christmas themed for this segment, and today's topic is, what is the worst thing about Christmas? What do you think it is, Jim? The worst thing about Christmas, and I'll try and convince you.
I know what it is. It's buying presents. It's buying people shit. Me and you, and I already know that this is the winner because me and you specifically have an accord where we don't buy each other presents, and that's our present to each other, is to not worry about buying each other presents. presents.
Yeah.
The only time in recent history that I can think that we've got presents for each other was for the 100th episode special. That's it. We don't do
Yeah,
presents.
we care about that more than...
Yeah, we don't get presents for each other for birthdays. We don't do it for Christmas, and I'll tell you why we don't do it, because it fucking sucks. Because you have to go out there and you have to spend your money on some other bastard, and there's that, and also it's like, what do people like? Like, I know, like, I've got to sort out my nan's present at some point.
Oh, go on, whisper, whisper what are you thinking of getting her? Just
no,
just
that's
real
the
quick.
thing.
Just give us an idea. What do you think you're going to get her?
I
Just
don't
whisper
know.
it real quick.
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get her
Candle.
because
Probably a candle. Who doesn't want to get their nan a candle? Like, that's easy standard present.
I don't want to get her just a candle because I'm.
You know what you should do?
Granddad.
You know what would be good? Make her a candle.
She'd really like that, actually.
Buy a candle making kit and make her one. I'm telling you, I'm so good at presents. I'm the fucking bomb at presents.
She'd really like that, actually. Okay, that might be an idea. I'll put a pin in that one. But it's I'm not good at it. I mean, it's a short one, to be honest, because those are really the only two reasons I have.
Yeah, I get you.
For me, it's quite a stressful thing. Also, I'm being really tight with money because I'm gonna be getting a car soon, and the car's being bought for me. I know that, but I'll still have to pay insurance and pay for petrol, and I need to pay for the lessons that I'm having, and I need to pay for the test, and then at some point when I do actually, because when I start driving, I'm going to be doing my NVQ to like go on and learn a trade, and then I'm going to need to like buy tools, and tools are very expensive.
Tools are fucking expensive as shit, because especially when you're doing what you're doing, because you have to get like, you can't just get one that's good. That's not how it works, is it? You have to get one that's like kind of like approved and everything, don't you? It has to be like it's really specific shit in it. Like, you might be getting like essentially a slab of metal to do some work with for your sort of job, and it'll be like £90. It has to be this one to make sure it complies with laws and bollocks.
The Makita, I'm not writing out that serial number, 18V9 piece kit with 3 times 5, but just 3 batteries. So this in it, you get like a circular saw and a drill and everything. It's essentially it'd be everything that a workman would probably use, and like a nice bag. £1,121. It's you know,
Roby.
It's expensive shit. So, you know, that's it's another thing. It's just, you know, oh god, I've got to buy these tools. Oh god, I got to pay for these lessons. Oh god, I got to fucking Christmas is coming up. I got to worry about money for that. So for me, for Christmas, it's buying people presents.
Yeah, I fully understand that, and this is one of the ones where I don't have to try and come up with something else, essentially, because I don't think buying presents is the worst thing, because it goes hand in hand. You get presents if you buy presents as well, bear in mind, and getting presents is cool. No one dislikes that. So that's part of the exchange. So that's kind of, you know, that is a good thing.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm most likely only going to ask them for money anyway. So really, the money that I spend is probably just going to be given back to me.
At least for you, you'll end up getting more money than you will have spent, and that does still kind of happen for me. It depends. I don't know. I probably won't get given as much money as you. I probably spend slightly more on presents than I get given in money, but I also do get given some presents as well. So
I have one thing that I'd maybe want them to buy for me, and it's an airbrush. You know, for like me models. I'd like an airbrush, but apart from that, it's just money.
I think part of that is a little bit subjective as well with buying presents, right? 'Cause at least for me, in a lot of my scenarios, I prefer giving the presents I've bought for people to getting presents. So when I'm at my grandma's house for Christmas dinner, which is amazing, I absolutely love going for Christmas dinner at my grandma's house. It's one of my favourite nights of the year, every year. I prefer giving out whatever I've got for people to getting stuff. I love getting the stuff I'm getting, and I fully appreciate what I get. But I take some pride in being pretty good at getting people presents. And you can be quite generic and standard with getting people presents, like, oh, I'll just get, kids that like chocolate, I'll get them a bar of chocolate, I'll get, grandma a box of Celebrations. That's all fine, it's all good. But I avoid that. I take some pride in it. I make sure that what I'm getting is something a little bit different, maybe not quite what they expected, and also something that they think, oh, you know what, that's just quite interesting, actually. I didn't expect that. I quite like that. I love that. I love seeing people go, oh, wow, that's quite cool, I love that. I love that shit. That I live for that. So I actually do kind of... I wouldn't... It kind of balances out because there's pressure and stress behind it. I'm not going to deny what you've said. There is pressure and stress behind it. And especially this year, I could have done without that. And point being, we're recording this on the 1st of December. I would have been done with my Christmas shopping about 3 weeks ago on a normal year. This year, I've had shit to deal with, okay? I've not done anything. So, I'm a little bit behind this year, but... So normally, there's even ways to lessen the pressure as well. So it's not... What I'm trying to get at is, for a lot of people, buying presents is actually a good thing. It's actually quite fun. And I actually quite like it, especially when it's for people that I really give a shit about. That's why I don't get Judd presents. But no, when I get my girlfriend a present, not even just for Christmas. Christmas obviously is a time to do it as well, but I really like doing it. Like, as in for her birthday, I did a hand-carved piece of artwork with loads of symbolism from different cultures around the world. And I was so excited to give her it and show her it. So there's a lot of positives about presents. The worst bit about Christmas, Judd, I've thought about it. You know what I was gonna say? The commitments. You have to go to, like, fucking office Christmas party. I have to visit... my weird auntie who, like, always, like, Do you know what? I just did then? Sorry, as a side ADHD tangent, I thought I was going to say weird uncle, and then realised I've got an uncle who could have been perceived as weird. So I thought I'll use auntie, because I don't want him to think I'm talking about him, because I don't think he's weird. I love him. And then I used auntie and thought, shit, we've got an auntie that could be perceived as weird as well. But I love them both. Fine. I don't want them to think that I'm talking about them, but
Listen, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. On this channel, we love a good freak.
Exactly. So you could think, I have to see my weird, relative that I don't really like. I don't want to see. I've got a work Christmas party for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You could say that, but I don't know. That's a fair one. The other one that I was thinking of, it's gone out my brain already, but do you know what it is?
Yeah.
The worst bit about Christmas is Christmas music. It's the Christmas music.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you know why? The problem, there's not much to say about it. There's one crux to it. You can't fucking avoid it. It's getting in your brain like an earworm. You're not going to escape. Because are you ready, Judd? You're going to be cursed for about 4 days now. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Oh, God, stop, you bastard.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Yeah, God, stop. Oh, God.
And it's in your brain now, that, forever. Or I could do this one. Last Christmas.
No, don't do that one.
And it's there, it's in your brain forever now. And it's the fact that you can't escape it. And also, something else that's kind of... It's like bad, and you don't even know it is that, we go to our dad's house on the 23rd of December, stay over, and we have Christmas Eve as our Christmas with him, because we've all got obligations on Christmas Day. And obviously, on that Christmas night, when we're preparing whatever we're going to eat that evening, or the morning of Christmas Eve, we'll put Christmas music on. And no one likes it. Why do we do it? It's like, honestly,
No,
we're all doing it because we feel like we have to go through that torture. And we're
literally, I'm sat there with like my brain leaking out of my ear while fucking Christmas music plays. The Darkness, Christmas time. No, what is it? Is it Christmas time or Don't Let the Bells End?
Time,
No, it's not that one. It's not that one.
Oh,
It's not that one. It's not that one. It's like the metal one where it's like Christmas time.
Oh
That one.
yeah. That's one of the highlights. Do you know the
Yeah.
one that I like when it comes on, because they normally put it on the TV. Well, I don't. This is kind of my point. I don't like it, but the one that I get mesmerized by and think, what am I doing here? is the one by the Wizard, whichever one that is. The Wizard Christmas. The Wizard Christmas. What's that one? The Wizard Christmas
I don't
song.
know.
I wish it could be Christmas every day, because the music video to that is like, what the fuck is going on?
I think I know it.
I wish it could be Christmas,
Christmas
every day. Oh, it
every
sucks.
day,
That's how they
yeah.
sing it. No, they're not singing it. We're not doing a parody of that. They're singing like,
No, no.
wish it could be Christmas every day. And that's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the best one. No, the best one is Fairy Tale of New York. That's the one that I kind of like that one. But my next favorite is that one, and that's how they sing it. So look, I'm not going to say any more. We're already at 45 minutes, and we've got a whole another 2 fight segments to go through.
Oh,
Christmas
God, yeah,
songs.
this is
Bear in
gonna be
mind,
a long one,
a
this.
lot of people like giving presents, whether it's Christmas or not. The other one I was potentially going to say is the weather, because of seasonal depression, but I don't know if you get that. So we've gone with Christmas songs.
No, I actually when it snowed a lot and it's like everything's just off because there's so much snow and it's like a winter wonderland. I love it. I really like it. So
Well, we've gone with Christmas music. What do we think, Judd?
I might have to give it to you, you know.
We did it! It's just winner's season, baby. We're doing it. I can't lose. It's winning everything nowadays. I
can't lose!
I'm calling myself. I call myself loser kid normally, but it's fucking winner kid right now. Am I right?
No.
Fucking let's go.
Yeah, I was in when I was buying the suit. Actually, I was because all the Christmas decorations were up and everything, and I didn't realize because I had my earphones in, but like as I was walking around shopping and like looking at the decorations and stuff, like something clicked in my brain. I was and I basically thought to myself, don't take your earphones out because you know you're gonna hear Christmas music the second you do. So I like purposely made sure my phone was on max volume.
That's
I was
fair.
like, fuck that. Right, yeah.
Right then, so back to the fight day. So we've gone through all of the fight morning, a bit of the prep, we got us rules, I did my medical. I put on my vest, actually. They gave us his fight vest, and it said his name, and it said Jacob the Crafty Fox. And it kind of worked out fairly well with that, because I didn't really want a nickname, because I'd not been given one by a coach or something like that, which is normally your traditional way of how you get your nickname. If you come up with your nickname, that's a bit,
That's
really
a bit-
lame, but it's just a little bit of a lame thing.
I'd say that's incredibly lame. That, you know, like if you were like if you were like, call me Jacob the Crafty Fox, I'd be like, I'm not coming.
Well, a lot of people might call it, like a really traditional one would be like the Assassin, you know, something like that.
Oh,
you know, but it's like, at least from what I know, in the boxing world, in the MMA world, you get given a nickname. Like that's definitely how it's done a bit more. You know,
I think that works with any nickname as well. I think
exactly.
I think if you start trying to force a nickname, or like you try and give yourself a nickname, that's not the point. You're like given nicknames.
So that's why when they asked us what they wanted nicknames to be, I said I don't want one, basically. But the guy who was running it, Judd's oh, there you are.
No,
the guy
I'm
who
back
was
now.
running it said, "Oh, you've got to have one." Now, that's bollocks. The only reason they wanted us to have one is because they print them on the vests. They could have just printed my name on it. But the guy who was organising it did say, if you don't pick one like soon enough, I'll just give you one. And to be honest, I'd not seen his message response. So there's a few other people that had done the same thing as me and didn't really want one. So he just said, for those who, who've not picked a nickname, if you don't respond within a few hours, I'm just going to pick you one. I didn't even see his message, and he picked me one.
All
but
right, well,
in a way,
yeah.
I was given a nickname, which is kind of what I wanted. So
yeah. So
fine. And for the
fine.
way I fight as well, and the way I try and fight, it's not a bad nickname either. Like, obviously, it fits in with like the Fox stereotype for my last name, and also it kind of works with the way I fight a bit as well. So
what I would have given you though.
What?
I would have called you the fantastic Mr. Jacob Fox. You get
That's
it?
worse.
No, because it's like the fantastic Fox.
I don't like it. It sounds more boastful as well. I don't like it. I think you should just fucking leave. Actually, now. Well, you've offended me. Fucking.
God,
what
fine.
A prick. Fine. I fucking left him. What a cunt. No, anyway, we'll join back on that. That was a good bit. Nice, cool.
We've not done that one before.
Yeah, we've done that on at least 20 podcasts. Do you know, we've done so many of these. Anyway, so I put my vest on, I was chilling out, and we had to wait for like 2 hours straight. So I was fucking bored, to be honest. A lot of people were like nervously training, maybe some were skipping rope. There was a big queue, actually, for professional hand wrapping being done.
Hand wrap. I was like,
yeah,
what
boxing hand wraps. So I was wearing hand wraps under my gloves, but I'd just done it myself with the ones that I'd been training, because you had to pay £10 for this professional hand wrapping doing, and I just thought, I've paid £30 to sign up for the gym. I'm paying £50 a month for the training. I've raised. Now at that point I hadn't, but now I've raised £750. Yeah. I don't want to spend more money. Like, it's just another thing, and I don't need to do it. It don't really give me another advantage. I don't have to do it. So I thought, fuck off, I'm not doing it. So I just wrapped my own hands, but a lot of people did, and it was taking forever. It was taking ages for them all to get wrapped, but did you
say it was 20 quid to get your hands wrapped? 10 quid.
So obviously you're paying for the skills of the person who knows how to do it really well, and obviously they use materials on you. So they add a bit of padding over your knuckles, all the kind of fabric wraps, and a lot of like tape to tape it all up. And that's not reusable after you've done it. That you have to get them cut off of you after you've fought, because it's like properly secured your hands. So. No. I don't know. It was unnecessary for me. I wasn't interested. I didn't do that. And so I'm just gonna kind of skip a little bit forward, to be honest, to the fights when the fight started, because I there's more stuff I could maybe give details about, but I'm just gonna get to when the fight started. They told me that I would be fighting 8th. I specifically told my girlfriend that, so she could tell the VIP table. I specifically didn't tell you or my dad and his girlfriend, because my dad's girlfriend was asking about when I would be fighting, and I thought they might want to like not watch some of the others, and I thought, fuck off, watch all the fights. So I specifically didn't tell them, just in case that's what they were thinking. They definitely might not have been thinking that, but Well,
no. I mean, they probably were thinking that, because like I was talking to her in the car, and Natalie was like, I don't like boxing. I don't like watching people punch each other. So they probably were thinking.
Well, in that case, then I'm glad I didn't tell them. But I was fighting 8th out of 21 fights. Now, I was. Can
I just say though, I loved it. I fucking.
I
thought it was great. Yeah,
it was. I loved watching it. The bits I could watch as well. I was reasonably happy with 8th out of 21. I wanted to be on essentially as early as possible. For me, I think 2nd would have been potentially perfect, because obviously 1st got a bit of nerve-wracking nature to it for being the first people to fight. And then, so if you're 2nd, someone's got one out of the way, and then it's you. But honestly, 8th, maybe if I was to say 6th, that might have been perfect, because you had to be ready for your fight and kind of warming up and getting your headgear on and stuff quite a few fights before yours. So it meant that I only actually got to watch 3 fights, and we were all upstairs. No one else was a floor, like, everyone else was on the same floor as the boxing ring, other than the fighters who were watching from a balcony. So I got to watch, like, 3 fights before I had to start getting ready for mine.
Yeah.
That was kind of all right. I could have maybe gone 1, maybe 2 earlier than that, if anything, but it was pretty decent for that. So we watched some, we commented, you know, we were getting excited about them, and I was specifically remember trying, because the guy I was fighting, obviously I get on quite well with, and we were watching the fights kind of together, like in a group of maybe 5 or so lads all watching. And I was like, you want to shout advice to whoever you're rooting for.
Yeah.
And you want to, like, say, oh, they're not doing this well enough, or they're doing this really well, or whatever. And I was really trying not to say too much of that, because I didn't want to, like, give him any tips of what I think, you know, you need to do and things. So, anyway, we had to... It was really weird warming up and training in the same room as the guy you're going to be fighting soon. That was really weird. At that point, I was, like, trying not to, like, look at him very much or anything like that, and all of that sort of business. So... He was in the red team, the red corner, and I was in the blue corner. And all of the red corner went out first, which was my preference. I would have wanted to come out second, which was good for me. He came out to some 2-pack song. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was, you know, getting in the zone and all that. And honestly, at this point, I'm stood on the stairs, wearing all my gear. I'm about to fight. And one of the things I was thinking is, I should be more nervous. Like, I really should be more nervous about this, especially because I've had some problems with anxiety before. Like, you know, with going on stage, things from when I used to be in a choir, we did, like, international competitions and that, and I had, I essentially almost had a heart attack twice because of it, because of the pressure and that. So part of this whole thing was getting over that anxiety. And at that point, I was thinking, fucking hell, either this doesn't affect me the same way at all, or I'm doing amazingly at dealing with this right now. Because I obviously, I was nervous. Yeah, like, if Anthony Joshua were fighting the guy I was fighting right then, it would have been nervous. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It would have been nervous. Like, he would have been 100% sure he'd win, but... You get nervous for something like that. You know, he would have been way less nervous than me, but, you know what I'm saying? So, I was nervous, but, like, I was surprised how little nervous I was at that point, about to walk out. There was a lot of people there. How many people would you say were there watching?
I'd say at least 200, maybe more.
Well, the estimate, their average event has about 600. I don't think there was quite 600, but there might have been maybe 400. Because there was a lot of people going in and out of the room to the bar and things like that, so they weren't necessarily all there in the room at one point. So there was a lot of people. There was 40 VIP tables for a start, and each VIP table fits 10 people. I don't know if there were 10 people actually on each VIP table. And there was the standing seats all around, you know, past them, so there could have been, I estimate, between 300 and 600. Anyway, so... The music I picked was, it was. What did you think of it, Judd? Did you know what it was?
What? I can't remember it. What was it?
It was. I'm about to play it right now. I hope. Actually, I can't because we'll get copyright strikes on the podcast. No, it was Down Like That. KSI.
Well, I didn't.
You gotta go and let me down like that. So, I picked that. I could have picked one of my own songs or anything like that, but I thought, you know what? Fuck that. I'm doing boxing. I'm not doing music anymore. I've moved on from that. I'm a little bit pissed off at the whole music industry. I'm leaving it behind. I picked Down Like That because it was not too upbeat. I didn't want to get too G'd up, you know? It was a perfect amount. It kind of paid tribute to the thing that even got me into boxing. Hearing about KSI fighting Logan Paul for the first time is the whole reason I'm interested in this in the first place. I went back and watched the whole Joe Weller thing that KSI did with that before he even fought Logan Paul for the first time. But that's the whole reason why. So I loved that was a good homage to, you know, him and that. And it was a good atmosphere for that. And then my walk-in, I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and I don't know if this is the impression you got as well. Feel free to chime in and tell me about your impressions of any of this when it happened. Obviously, this is kind of the first point you will be able to. But my girlfriend was telling me that my opponent looked more nervous on his walk-in than I looked. Apparently, I looked cooler and like less nervous.
I suppose I don't think he looked that nervous, to be honest. I think he looked as nervous as anybody would be in that situation. He didn't, he weren't shitting himself or anything.
Yeah, he weren't like a wimp or anything like that by any means. He was a good opponent, a good guy, and I didn't expect him to look that nervous either. When he were, backstage, he looked a bit determined, and he's, fully what I expected from him as well. But I was trying to have a bit of fun with it in my walk, just a little bit, just enough so that I didn't look like silly. But
yeah,
a part of my strategy was I'm gonna go and have fun. I like boxing. I want to do, it's I find it fun. I'm gonna have some fun. So that's what I was doing. I got in the ring. I pointed to you guys on the way there. If you want to see me doing this, by the way, you can go to the Jacob Fox YouTube channel. There's a video about it. My latest video is all about it, and there's a little montage on it too. You should watch that, Jude. It's good. At least just watch the montage bit of the highlights from the fight, because I know at some point.
I watched that video. I watched that one.
Oh, you saw the highlights from the fight.
Yeah, I watched that entire video.
Nice.
That one,
the latest one. Well, at some point, I want to react to the fight with you, because they have a camera that films the whole fight, and my friend did film the whole fight. I just cut together highlights, so I'm going to cut together a good, combination of the two, so we can see the full fight in full. And I'd like to react to that with you as well at some point for my YouTube channel. But so yeah, I got in there. They took my picture. They told us the rules, and round one started. One of the things I specifically wanted to do was make sure I landed the first punch. Like, that was a big thing to me. I wanted to land the first and the last punch every round. So that's what I did, and I got in and I went, pew, quick jab, knocked his head back. It was nice. It was good. I think he tried to put out like a slow, like, reaching jab, and I just moved my head back. It weren't even close to hitting me. And there's not a lot to say. I'm not going to talk about specific combos very much I did in each round, but the first round, to me, from where I was in the ring, I won that reasonably conclusively. It wouldn't be... Do you know how boxing scored? Do you know how boxing scored?
I don't know. I think it goes off, like, hit scored and, like, is it dodges as well? How, like, well you dodge?
No. It's not quite like that. So... In boxing, each round, both fighters start with 10 points, okay? And if you slightly lose that round, your points go down to 9. If you lose that round significantly, they go down to 8. If you get knocked down in a round, it automatically goes to 8. On rare occasion, if there's a rule set where you've got unlimited knockdowns per round... If you get knocked down, say, like 3 times in a round, normally there's a rule where that's an automatic fight end. But if there's not that rule, then that could be a 10-7. Do you see what I mean? So you could end up with 7 points out of 10 rather than 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think what I was saying was more in line with karate, because I think that's how they do it in karate, where they give you points if you block or you hit or whatever. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know really, but so that's kind of at least my impression of how boxing scored. So that first round was a 10-9 to me specifically. I didn't knock him down, anything like that, but it was an obvious 10-9. Because I put together, again, I'm talking from my perspective, I'll ask you in a second, but I put together better combinations, I landed more shots, I dodged a good amount of them, not I wouldn't even say most of his shots, but, and I'm not saying by any means that I was outclassing him in that first round. It was, a decent match in that first round, but I think I performed very well. I think he was maybe a little bit too cautious and trying to feel me out for the fight, so that's why I think I won that. What did it look like from your perspective down there? Because you had literally the best seat in the house.
I do think I actually had the best seat in the entire house.
Where were you sat? Describe it.
I was sat literally right in front of the ring. So I'm trying to think of how I can explain this. So there's the ring, obviously. Then there's surrounding that is sort of like you've got your judges, you've got your like medics if anything goes wrong, you know, stuff like that. And then on the outside of that bit is the VIP seating area, sort of circling all of that. I was on a table that was the closest, like, to the separate,
barrier.
like the barrier separating the cage from the VIP seating area. And I was sat like on the side of the table that was closest to the ring, so I was literally right there. I was right
you were
there,
like as close as you could be to the red corner, to my opponent's corner, weren't you?
Yeah.
So, what did it look like to you in that first round? What were your impressions of it?
So, I got quite drunk this night, but from what I remember, it for me it looked very close, and
the first
and
round
thinking,
the first round.
I think maybe in that first round I was like, okay, all right, he's got that one, and then. Do you only want me to say for the first round?
Yeah, just for the first round.
Okay. I think basically I was like, all right, yeah, I could, you know, I feel like that was given to Jake. You know?
Was it kind of like it wasn't miles apart by any means, but I think it was to me. Would that be a fair assessment?
So it was like, you know, it weren't crazy or anything, but it was like I think, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I thought. I thought I've not absolutely demolished him, like I've not laid him out on his ass by any means, but I'm pretty sure I won that round. What did you think of the walkout as well? You didn't even say what you thought of the walkouts. Is that not particularly bothered? You're not bothered about that? Or?
To be honest, I can't really remember it. Again, quite drunk, but I remember you coming out. And
do you remember being nervous at all?
I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous at all.
Were you excited?
Yeah, I was just excited. I was just excited to watch the fight, and I was just really enjoying everything as well. So no, I wasn't nervous.
Fair enough. So, well, round one happened. I went back to my corner, and the guy in my corner said, "You probably won that round." They always try and kind of make it seem like the fight is about 50-50 in a corner. I have noticed that, and it makes sense.
Well, they don't want to like be like, "Oh, you've got him," and then you sort of like drop.
Yeah,
it
you don't. They want you to relax too much, but they also don't want to say you've absolutely fucked that round. You didn't win it at all, because then you've got no confidence in your next round.
Yeah,
either.
because then you'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm shit. So what's the point?"
So they said, I think you won that round. So because I think it was reasonably convincing, and I remember him saying to me, he's gonna come out stronger this next round, and he gave me some advice and that, and then the next round he definitely did come out stronger. There's not much to say about the second round other than the fact that it was a lot closer. I think I can understand how that could have been given to him. I would edge it to me still thinking about it and looking back at the clips I've seen, but
yeah, you definitely started getting tired in that next one, and it started like, you know, having a proper go on you.
It wasn't necessarily that I was specifically tired. It was just that he was putting more effort in that time, which made it harder for me, obviously, because he was doing more. So, and I think I did. Well, I know what the score was. Basically, it was 30-27, which is means that I won every round. 10 points to me, 9 points to him. So I did win that round, and I think there was only one judge rather than three. Normally there's 3 judges for a fight, but I think there was only one. So it might have been, if there was 3 judges, I'd have got a 30-27, and then a 29-28, 29-28.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't think any judge would have said the other guy won, I will say that. But, so, yeah, that round was close enough, like, to the point where if he claimed he thinks he won that round, I wouldn't say he's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
I'd say it was probably a bit of an opinion, maybe where he was stood or something like that. So, my corner, I go back to my corner, and the guy in my corner said, that round was a lot closer. I told you you'd come out stronger, didn't I? Like, yeah. So he told me to use my long punches and the right hand, essentially like a power straight right hand a lot more.
Yeah.
if I am close to him, put together some combinations and spin off. And you know what? I don't want to like jerk my own wiener, but I fucking listened and I did that in the last round. I'm telling you, that last round. Oh wait, no. I've got it wrong, and I got this wrong when I was talking about it to my girlfriend. In the second round, he got a standing count, didn't he?
What? So what was that?
So that means that the referee, he wasn't knocked down, but the referee like does a small break in the fight and counts to the person who's most in trouble. Do you remember? Do you remember when that happened? It happened in almost every fight.
Yeah, I know. I remember him doing that for a few people, but I can't remember that happening in your fight.
I'm pretty sure he did it twice because I raised my hands at you guys, remember? And then I went to that corner and shook my fist at you. I'm pretty certain that was the second. No, I think that was the third round, actually. I can't really remember.
I'm having trouble remembering.
I'll go back at it and look. But anyway, the third round, I was probably my best round, and it was. The referee said it was one of the best white collar rounds he'd seen ever. And what did you think of the second round then?
To me, it looked like you were getting tired, and I was like, you know, I was starting to think, oh, you know, this might be a lot closer than I thought it'd be from the first round, but
yeah,
I wasn't like too worried. Well, no, I'll say I was feeling worried because it looked like close. It looked pretty close, but it did look like, you know, you were just beating him out. So
yeah, slightly. So third round, I knew he would be tired as well. I mean, I was tired. Like, you can't not be tired. So I was tired, but like I wasn't tired like I was going. I wasn't deep breathing, anything like that. It was more that my muscles felt wrong, like a little bit odd, because they were a little bit kind of, you know, they weren't getting energy quick enough, and the anxiety will have been playing a factor into it as well. But my third round, I think, was the best round, and I put together some great combinations, and I think part of it was because he was more tired than me, and I knew he would be. I was the fittest I've ever been that night, and I was like, I knew he's more tired than me, and I gave it some. And there's a moment in that fight where I hit him with I circled around him, jabbed him twice, and both landed proper good jabs. And then I put my fist in his face, basically, not a full. Yeah. And then moved it out the way really quick and right hand straight down the pipe. And that's that I sent you a picture of it, didn't I? And I'll put the picture on screen for the people who's watching the video version. Straight down the pipe, right on his chin. And it looks like a great moment. And you can see me. And like, what I really love about that picture as well is my hands are all in the right place. You know what I'm telling you? Whenever you're punching, keep your other hand side of your chin. And it is. Yeah. I've not forgotten that, even from the pressure and everything. And then, what I did straight after that was as soon as I'd whacked him that big right hand, I just put my left hand in his face again and did the exact same thing. And it took 2 times for him to realise that. And he put his guard up and I put my hand on top of his guard so he still couldn't see. So I was like, I know he's anticipating the big straight right hand again. So I did an uppercut instead, and that knocked his head back, and I think that's when the referee counted for the first time. There was another count in that round. What's going on? That was... sorry, I'd put it on the wrong scene. That was from a similar thing. He tried to back me into a corner and like walk me down. A great move on his part. It made it more difficult to put together what I wanted to do, but I was using my long arms because he was tired and a bit, and I think maybe he knew he was losing. He'd forgotten some like more finesse things like his head movement. So I could just shove my hand in his face and stop him being able to see any right hands that I were about to throw. So I did that a few times again, and I hit him with about 7 power shots in a row that he didn't really defend very well, and referee started counting again. So I got 2 counts in that, which should have been... I think they gave it as a 10-9 round because he didn't get knocked down, you know? So I think they have to kind of score it like that. But if I'm going to kind of bear in mind that there's head guards and things like that, so knockdowns in white collar are a lot less likely to happen. There was one all night, weren't there? And the guy got knocked
Oh,
out.
God, yeah, he got knocked the fuck out. I thought he looked when. Am I allowed to talk about it? Am I allowed to talk about that?
We'll get into it a little bit in the third part of the fighting bit. But so because I got 2 knockdowns kind of for this sort of fighting in that last round, I would give that as a 10-8 to me, I think. So if I was going to score the fight, I would give 10-9 to me first round, definitely. 10-9 to me the second round, but only just, and then a 10-8 to me in the last round. So that'd be, 30-26, I think. Yeah. On points, which is not surprising. Having said that, if we had head guards, I think he would have been knocked out. Or TKO, referee stoppage, at least. So, yeah. So that's that. And then when the fight ended, did you... Well, what did you think about that? What were your thoughts about that third round before I do the fight ending?
I thought you'd won that. I definitely thought you'd won that one.
Did you understand what the counting was when that was happening?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't remember him counting, but I knew what that was like when he was doing it in the matches. I can't for some reason I can't remember it happening in your match for some reason, but
yeah.
Well, no, I knew what was
the full fight together.
Yeah. I knew it was what it was. But...
Yeah, so that was the most convincing round to you as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. And then the fight was over. And did you notice that like he was shattered and went right back to his corner for some water? And the first thing I did was raise my hand and walk around the ring. Did you notice that?
I did, yeah.
Because like part of it was because I thought I've won that fight. I know I've won that fight. I've won at least 2 out of 3 rounds. If they don't give that to me, it's a robbery. So I put my hands up like, I know I've won this fight, but part of it was also like to convince judging that like I've won that fight, you know?
Yeah.
So that's part of it as well. Like you always want to look like you've won the fight at the end of it, even if you might not have.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And yeah, the referee said, you know, the announcement said one of the best white collar rounds he's ever seen and all that. And then they give us little trophies, which I will show on screen now. It'll be flicked backwards, but they gave us these steel trophy things. Everyone gets them because everyone deserves something for fighting on that card. And yeah, they announced the winner and everyone cheered and it was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
Yes, it was very nice.
At that point, when they announced it, I feel like I blacked out for a second. Because, like, I honestly, it was just, that moment was amazing to me. Yeah. That moment to me is bigger than winning, like, a world championship or anything. Because, like, of all the, like, kind of things in my brain I've had to overcome for it, it was incredible. I did hear everyone shouting in the last round, like, Jacob, you know, like, cheering me on. Were you doing that? Were you part of it?
No, I wasn't actually, and that makes me sound like a bastard. But I'm less of a, you know, come on, do it, and more of a, God, I want him to do it. You know, yeah. I was sat like the whole thing, like I was like biting on me knuckles. I'm like, come on, that's more what I do.
What about like, because there was some combinations I put together, especially in the third round, that were like good actually, and they were quite obviously like they looked good as well, like those ones I were on about where I hit him with those straight rights that were obviously like, you know, really did some damage.
Yeah.
Because I was focusing on what I needed to do to follow that up, was there like cheers from the table? What was people's reactions to when I put together a really good combo?
Well, mainly it was your I think it's your uncle who was like, yeah.
My bald uncle who were really drunk.
Yeah. It was like, come on, Jacob, come on.
That's a good impression of him, actually. That's a subtly good impression of him. Yeah, he was really into it. The thing is with him, he's really gluten intolerant. He can't have any gluten, basically. He's very allergic to it.
All right. Yeah.
So all he can drink is wine, but he still drinks it as if it's beer. So
yeah.
He drinks loads. He gets really drunk. So nice. Yeah, that was good. He was very good and very supportive. It was nice to see him there. But yeah, I could hear you chanting, and I don't think my opponent had a VIP table, so they couldn't have been as close. And even if they did have a VIP table, it couldn't have been as close as the one you guys had. So
No,
that
because
was
it was next to the ring. It was like essentially the closest
yeah.
seat to the ring. So
it was properly really close. As in, it was, to put it in perspective how close it was, if I'd have reached my hand out from the ring to touch you guys, and you'd have reached your hand from there, we could have probably touched hands.
I don't know. I don't know about
yeah,
that.
if I'd have gone between the ropes and you'd have gone right up to the barrier. But anyway, and the table was like really close to the barrier. Anyway, so yeah, that was great, and I made sure to bow to you all on the way out, on the way back. We got our post-fight kind of medical, and yeah, we'll talk about post-fight a little bit in a bit. But first of all, Judd.
Yes.
Have you got anything else to update? Have you got anything else interesting happened this week? Have you got anything interesting enough to talk about so that I can go and piss? Because I'm desperate to piss.
Well, I've got my freak of the week, but I kind of want you to be here for that.
Okay.
I really want to hear this one.
If you've not, I'll hold it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, just hold it. I don't think I've got anything. I've got
We've not got time for Freak of the Week, though. You're going to have to save it.
Oh, god damn it.
We've got too many things to talk about, because
All
I've got to give you an I'm a Celebrity update as well. It's very important.
Okay, listen, run and have a piss. I've got a little thing
Hurry
that
up then.
happened
As
during
soon
your
as I'm
fight.
back, your story ends, so go.
Okay, so essentially, what happened was, I think this was after Jake's fight. I went to the toilet, and there's loads of lads in there because obviously there's so many people at this event, and I'm stood in line waiting to head into the cubicle, and there's probably about 12 other lads in this toilet with me, and this lad comes out of the toilet, and he like sort of like very slowly, very like stiffly like moving one side of his body, like his right side, and then his left side, and his right, very stilted, like walking around the corner. And he was absolutely gone. You could just see in his face, like to me, it was very definitely ketamine. It's definitely like a zonked out like ketamine thing. But he came around the corner, he saw everybody in this queue, and he like sort of stood there like slack-jawed, just staring at us all for a bit. Nobody really knew what to say, and then his mate came out of one of the other cubicles, saw him like stood there fucking staring at everybody like a deer in the headlights, and he just like put his hand on this guy's shoulder. It's like, come on, we're going, and he like pushed him out of these toilets, and the second that he left, just everybody in the toilets just started fucking laughing.
This sounds like your friends.
Funny.
This. I've only heard this like last bit, but it sounds like you and your mates.
Yeah, it does.
Is that your freak of the week? Is that what that was?
No. That wasn't freak of the week.
We'll
at
save
all.
that for next week. But Judd, I've got to do you a little I'm a Celebrity update. So,
okay,
we have a tradition every year where I tell you the I'm a Celebrity cast. So all the people who's going to be on the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here cast, all the people who's going to be on it. And you obviously don't know any of them.
No.
And neither do I. But what I wanted to do is...
We knew Naughty Boy, though.
Exactly. We knew who Naughty Boy is. But what I wanted to do is give you an update on them all, and our updated opinions, because Naughty Boy was our favourite frontrunner. So, you know, do we like him? Do we not? You know, I've given... now that I've watched a fair amount of the show, I'm actually going to watch it tonight after this. What do we think of everyone? So, I've got the lineup again. Louise Minchin, do you remember her? No, you don't. She's a broadcaster. She's a BBC breakfast host. Don't know her.
I do remember her.
Oh, you do remember her? Okay.
I've
got the same opinion about her as I did at the start. She is a reasonably nice lady, I'm sure.
And all well nice.
Matty Lee, he's not Tom Daly.
He's not Tom Daly.
He seems fine. I don't care. Exactly the same. Snoochie Shy, she's a DJ. No idea who she is. I don't like her. She's annoying. I find her annoying. What I will say about her, she's one of those people that's got a personality where I don't mind that certain people like her, but I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Another person very like that for me is RuPaul. You know, the Drag Race guy.
Yeah.
I don't like RuPaul. It's not for me, that personality. But I don't necessarily blame someone for enjoying it. But, like, that's definitely not for me. And she's got that sort of vibes about her. So that's what that is.
If it's your thing, then fine, whatever. But, like, it's not something that you'd ever personally enjoy.
Yeah, if it's your thing, whatever, it's really not mine.
Yeah.
Richard Madeley. I don't mind Richard Madeley. I think Richard Madeley is one of those people that people just like to hate on. A bit like, you know, Chris Evans, not the Captain America guy, the radio host guy who did present Top Gear for a little bit.
Oh,
he's like Ginger.
Yeah.
You know, do you know the one I mean? And kind of, I wouldn't put Piers Morgan in this. He's a little bit. Maybe Simon Cowell is a little bit like that.
Yeah, I'd say more Simon Cowell than Piers Morgan. Like,
Chris Evans is a great example of it. He's one of those that's just like, I don't see why people hate them. They're just like a normal dude. But like some people just do. And I think Richard Madeley's one of those. My opinion on him is he's a little bit like posh. So it's like, all right, you could do with being a little bit more down to earth, but he seems fine. But he's been taken out of the camp, Judd.
Oh, God.
He felt ill and he had to go out of the camp to make sure they were all right. But because of very strict TV COVID guidelines, he'd been out into the regular world. So his isolation to be on the show had kind of expired, so he wasn't allowed back in, even though there was nothing wrong with him. Next, Dame Arlene Phillips. Now, we were saying she's a little bit of a hottie for her age. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember you being like, oh, yeah, she's a bit of a hottie, and I was like, yeah, she's all right, yeah.
But I don't like her.
You don't like her?
Not very much. She's not awful, but, like, she's a little bit of a bitch, you know? Like, she's a little bit of a fucking... Like, you can tell she's kind of snobby, I think, and a little bit kind of... Oh, come on, fucking stop whining.
Yeah.
One of those sort of things. Next, we've got Naughty Boy. And speaking of little bitches, Judd, fuck Naughty Boy. Honestly.
Wow, really?
He's a right little fuck. Honestly, he's such a little whiny cunt.
Oh,
I'm telling
you.
I know, what a disappointment. One of the running jokes on the show is the fact that he keeps saying, I think my time has come, I'm going to leave tomorrow. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. Come on. And he's starting arguments over bollocks. The last episode I watched, they'd got 10 out of 11 stars, right, for their meals, right? So they'd got oxtail. And the one who normally cooks won the stars. So they're like, right, don't cook tonight, we'll sort it for you. And she wanted to say to him, oh, there's a big bone in the middle of it, so just be careful of that. That's all she wanted to say to him. And he was like, it's okay, just let me do it, basically. And I'm like, fuck off. Stop being a little cunt. Also, he smuggled in some seasoning, some food seasoning. He smuggled it in his sock, and then immediately on the first day admitted to the diary room that he got it. I'm like, if you're going to smuggle it in, just use it then. Don't immediately go, I've smuggled this in, can I use it? Like, no, of course you can't. What the
what a dickhead.
And honestly, he's one of them that, he doesn't happen every season, but he's one of them on I'm a Celebrity that, doesn't seem to get what the show is. I don't know if he's never watched it or what, but he's he gets in there, he's like, oh, it's already so hard for us, and, we've got to live in this camp, and these trials so hard. It's like, yeah, that's the fucking show. What did you think was going to happen?
Jesus Christ, what a disappointment.
I know, what a cunt. Anyway, Kadina Cox, MBE, Paralympic gold medalist. Don't know who she is. She's quite decent. She's not particularly entertaining, but I like her. She's kind of cool. Now, the next is my favourite. David Ginola, the Frenchman. Okay. He played for Newcastle Football Club at one point. Now, this is a magnificent fella. This is a man we can admire. He's he gives it some, he's encouraging everyone, he's got a funky French accent, and he's tried a bunch of gross British food that he's never had before so far. Also,
nice.
He likes flapjacks, apparently. He's never tried them before, but he does like them. He's my favourite so far, David Ginola. Cool. Frankie Bridge. She was the one who was in S Club Juniors and not Little Mix.
Oh yeah, not
the other one.
they couldn't even get a real S Club member. They
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the junior. They got the fucking Kids Pop variant.
What else was she in? It's not Little Mix. It's the other one. Saturdays. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's all right. She had a small tizzy with Naughty Boy and got a bit upset over it, but it was Naughty Boy's fault. And she, I don't know. She's okay. Danny Miller. He's entertaining. Okay, because his personality's not like amazing, but he fucking gips at like he said in the opening episode, he gips at everything, and that's apparently gip, like the word gip is a Yorkshire thing. Like obviously we understand it, but like it's like gagging. It's going, it's kind of it's kind of like gagging. And he said in his opening thing that he gips at everything, and I thought like he'll probably be exaggerating a bit. He probably just gips at things that are a bit gross. No. He gips at fucking everything. Like they were cooking. Yeah. I might thinking about it. I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were cooking fish. And he gipped at fish. They'd won the fish. That was a prize. And he just regular fish. Yeah. It's like, wow. Honestly, he gips at everything. And what I really appreciate about him is he had to do the first trial, I think it was, and it was an eating trial. And he was against Snooki or whatever the fuck her name is. And she was pretty good at handling it. And he obviously gipped at everything. And he fucking won. He beat her.
Oh, nice.
And I was like genuinely proud of him because like he was really struggling, but he powered through, and it came down to a tiebreaker of who can down like this gross drink the quickest. And obviously, him being like a Yorkshire lad, he just went and it was gone straight away. So yeah, I quite like Danny actually. My top runner is probably David, but Danny's probably my next one. And he's a right trooper because not only does he gip, he threw up in his mouth in the helicopter on the way there, and because he didn't want to gross everyone out, he just swallowed it.
Oh,
swallowed
nice.
The whole thing. And he did that twice, and he did that 3 times, I think, in the eating trial.
Oh.
So, like, good on him, because a lot of the time, these fucking people are like, I don't know.
Naughty Boy would have fucking done that.
Naughty Boy would not have fucking done that. What a little bitch, honestly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about being tough and getting over fear. That's the whole deal of the show. That's the whole thing. What a little fucking cunt. He's annoying. He's my least favourite. I don't want him to be voted out yet because, there's the entertainment value of seeing him, like, fucking go in trials. But, whatever. So that's that so far. I'm sure I'll update you on that in a little bit at some point. So that's the I'm a Celebrity update. Anyway, more fight stuff, Judd. So after the fight, we went up and had medicals. We were both fine. My opponent, towards the end of the last round, I saw some blood come out of his nose. Very small amount, not very much, just a little bit of trickle out of his nose. And I thought when I saw that was like, it made me want to fucking hammer him, basically. So like, I might actually put him away towards the end of the last round. I didn't, whatever. So after that, we shook hands. We were both basically complimenting each other on how well that went. Immediately after the fight, so as soon as the bell went for the last round, my corner guy came into the ring and said to me, he essentially grabbed, he didn't physically grab me, but essentially grabbed me and went, right, listen to me right now. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, okay, I thought my fight was done. He was like giving me some proper like stern words. He said, I want to see you back in the gym. Like I was like, oh, okay. And like, he was saying, he said, he's got something special. We could make you into a right fighter there. And I thought, oh, fuck, I thought it was pretty decent. But like, Jesus, I guess I must be kind of good.
Are you going to keep it up then?
It's encouraged me more to keep it up, but it's the price, honestly. It's a lot of money for me. It's for what you get out of training in boxing at that gym. It's not an extortionate price. It's like a pretty good price, but that amount of money to be paying every month for me, even for something as good as that training, it's a lot of money for me.
You got to buy a house and shit, haven't you?
It's a lot. So I've got to think about it, and I might ask the lady on the desk if there's some sort of different price plan I could do for only going twice a week rather than paying for 4 sessions and only going twice. You know, I'll look into it. I'll see what I can do, but I would like to do it a bit regularly at least. So he was saying that, and then later he came there was a break halfway, and he came up to all the coaches came up to the dressing room and said to both me and my opponent they'd love to see us in the gym again. And yeah, that was great. We went for a shower. I was chatting to some lads in the shower while they were showering and while I
and you had hot fucking gay sex, yeah.
Not at that point, at least.
Okay.
So yeah, we did that, and we were chatting about the fight. What we thought each other did well, and all of that. I got in my suit. I had a. Did you like my suit, Jed? Did you like it?
I did. It was very Panic at the Disco.
It was good, wasn't it? I had proper coattails. I had a waistcoat, black and white. We had some great photos.
You
if you're watching the video version, I'll stick them up on screen now.
You came out. I was like, oh yeah, Brendan Urie. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, I didn't have the top hat though.
No, you didn't.
Top hat, actually.
You didn't come round and say, I chimed in with a hammer.
Although, we did go to a bar later that night that could have been playing that.
It probably did play it at some point in the night,
We were probably too drunk to realise.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got in my suit, we came back
out. Can I just say really quickly do you want to get into the night out on this podcast, or is that too much?
We will do eventually, we will do, but I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can. There's a lot more details I could give. And yeah, I came out, and me and the guy who I fought, we said, well, we'll go around each other's families and say hello to everyone and that, because we do get on quite well. So we actually bumped into some of his mates first and said hello to them, and then we went to my family and you and all that VIP table, and we said hello, introduced each other to everyone, and everyone was like hugging me, and it was great. You had 2 pints waiting for one for me and one for him, which was great. We liked that. Actually, they might have both been for me, thinking about it, but he had one of them, I had one of them.
Oh, they were originally both for you. Actually, I remember. I remember saying, because I was helping with drinks, and I was. Jasmine was grabbing them, and I said, "Oh, who's that for? That one for?" And she was like, "Oh, Jake." And I was like, "Oh, who's that one for?" And she went, "Jake."
Yeah. A little bit later on, she did buy me 2 rather than 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we I gave one to him, and we both had a beer, said hello to everyone, and then we went round to some more of his friends and his mum, and I think it was his sister actually, and it was a little bit. It was mildly awkward meeting his mum because they were both lovely. It was a really tiny bit awkward because I think his mum weren't that happy that he'd lost. Like she weren't distraught by any means, but obviously, of course, she would be a little bit, sad that he'd lost. Yeah. And the guy he's just lost us come being like, hello. So I get it.
Hi,
she was more than reasonable in how she reacted, but yeah. So we saw each other, and then we kind of just partied, watched some fights we watched every fight, didn't we? Because I wouldn't have missed any. It was great. It was so much fun.
I wanted to stay and watch them all anyway. I was having fun. I wanted to watch all the fights, and I'm glad that we fucking did for that last one. So
yeah, the last fight. In fact, for the people who's watching the video version, there's a picture of. We wanted a picture in front of the ring where we both grabbed each other's heads and screamed at each other. Now, that sounds like we're very drunk to come up with that concept, but we would do that right now.
We do that. We were sober. We were sober at that point, yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent... I was definitely sober at that point. And then, immediately after that, there's a photo of us laughing about the fact that's the picture we've just had as we walk towards the camera. And in the background, there's the guy who got fucking knocked out. He's just stood up and he's going, huh? And we're walking off of it going, and he looks mangled. And he's like going, oh, I think I know where I am now. So that's a good photo.
I thought you were saying that he was like, oh, what the fuck, because of the photo that we just took. I didn't know he was like, what the fuck's going on, because he just had his brain rearranged.
He just stood up. And we were wandering off going, heh, funny photo. And the one we were taking, well, we were screaming at each other. He's like, anyway,
He's dead.
same
The
thing.
man's dead on the floor and fucking taking a stupid meme photo. Brilliant.
Anyway, yeah, so that we watched all the fights, and then the plan was to go on a night out round the town afterwards, and we did that, and obviously the snow had happened, so it was really slippy, and I had posh shoes on that had really slippy bottoms, whether it were fucking snowing or not.
Oh my
so
god!
I fell over a good 5 times that night.
Oh yeah.
And
Easy.
I hurt myself more from falling over on the ice than I did in the fight.
Yeah.
That's no disrespect to the guy who was fighting me. I had a small bruise on the side of my nose, but I fell over a lot. Is my point.
Yeah.
and that was like concrete. So
Yeah.
So that's that was quite funny, I think. So we did that, and we went on a night out. We went to a pub. We went out drinking. We got some fried chicken that was gorgeous. It tasted amazing. That was the first unhealthy food I'd had in like at least 2 months.
That was my time to shine. That because we were like, right, we need to go get some food. I'm like, listen, you're talking to the right guy. I know exactly what shitty food places were open at this time. Follow me.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I liked that. We ate that, and then there's a certain bar that does kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a metal bar necessarily, is it? But they do like a certain type of.
So it's metal and like punk and
yeah,
rock.
it's kind of punky mostly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where we like to end our nights. We like to have a good dance, good headbang, and things like that. So obviously we were headed there towards the end. Well, we bumped into some of your friends first, and that didn't we? And they came with us.
Yeah, we bumped into some of my friends. Yeah.
And that was where we were kind of finishing our night. And just by coincidence, the guy who I'd fought, I got on with, and like another guy who I got on with at boxing and stuff was there. And he was there to end his night as well.
Yeah.
And some of the other boxers, like, they'd all gone, a lot of them had gone there. So we got a bunch of shots, we had drinks together, we got quite drunk and all of that sort of thing. And, yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it, really. I fell over more on the way home. Me and my girlfriend went back to her house and we just fell asleep there. And we just got back, saw her bed and passed out. Fully just went, bleh, and just fell asleep. And I've still got really chapped lips from that night because I was so dehydrated and all my lips are all fucked and chapped and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's. We had a good day. Me and my girlfriend had a good day the day afterwards, but I think that's about it for me.
Do I not have 10 or 15 minutes to tell you about me waiting in the taxi rank? Because this was essentially my freak of the week, but also like a lot happened in this taxi rank. It was quite an experience, and I really want to talk about my taxi rank experience.
Can you save it for next week?
I can do, but it all lines up with the whole boxing thing. Like,
if it lines up with that, it fits. It's fine. Before you say that, I want to know your experience of the post-fight, what you thought about watching all the other fights, the night out, all of that sort of thing.
I loved it. I loved all of it. I loved watching the fight. I loved watching all the fights. It were a really good night out. We bumped into, like you said, my mates, and that was good. And then we ended up in Quassis, which is my favourite bar in town. So yeah, I loved everything. I loved everything about it. It was.
I struggle to want to commit to this because I find it quite a commitment, but I think I have to say it was potentially the best night of my life.
Yeah.
Like everything went so well. Like to the minute detail. Loads went really, really well.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really good. It was amazing. Yeah, tweet at TweetsBadly, let us know what you thought, and we'll probably post on at TweetsBadly for when we do the reaction to the fight. There'll probably be a couple podcasts come out before our reaction to it because we have to wait for the people who filmed it to upload it first. But yeah, now it's time for this. Cool. Also, remember, you can get this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all good audio podcast streaming platforms, as well as the video version on the Streams Badly YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. Like the podcast on that if you're watching it on that. Fucking do it. That doesn't happen very often. We've literally got 4 subs on that channel.
Nice.
So do that. Also, if you want to catch this podcast live, you can go to twitch.tv/streamsbadly, where we record it live on Twitch. And you can submit questions. You can interact with the podcast live on Twitch as well. And follow at tweetsbadly for any news to do with us. And cool. So, Judd. All right, then. Tell us about your thingy.
So, okay, I said it lines up with boxing like it was a direct correlation to boxing. I meant more that it ends the whole night off.
Is this when you got your taxi home?
This is me getting my taxi
from
home.
The night
so,
out, yeah.
Okay, so I'm stood in the taxi rank, and I've got my earphones in.
Sorry
and
to interrupt. I always interrupt. Isn't that a weird thing to call that? A taxi rank?
Like not taxi queue. Why are you saying taxi
Why is it called
queue?
taxi rank? It's not like the military. It's not got a rank, in the like the military or something like that. Also, it's not rank, as in it stinks. It's not like what the and even if it did, why would you call it that? Anyway,
yeah. So I looked at my notes to remember this, and I titled it "The Greatest Few in the World." And it's because essentially I now have this philosophy that the greatest few in the world is the taxi rank in Barnsley Town Centre at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. That's the best few in the world because it's just weird. It's just weird and it makes no sense, and I love it. So anyway, I say I love it. The first thing I'm about to say is actually awful. but anyway, it all comes together. It all comes together. In fact, I should probably say a bit of a if you aren't okay with like certain topics, maybe don't listen to this bit because it gets a bit fucked. But anyway, so I'm stood in the queue.
When the fuck have we ever had to give that disclaimer?
No.
Like,
well,
there better be some sort of extreme shite happening here because, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jake. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm a bit worried as to whether we can actually say this then.
So
fucking hell.
So
because we really toe that line with every single podcast.
Yeah, well, this is not a joking thing. This one, anyway. But so I'm stood in the queue, and I've got my earphones in, and now last time I was in this queue, there was a couple next to me, and they were old as my grandparents, maybe older, and they were really, really drunk, and they were like falling all over the place, like they were falling on me. So I'm quite used to people falling over in this taxi rank because of that fucked. Anyway, so I've got my earphones in, and a woman next to me goes down, and I'm thinking, here we go again.
What? And it's goes down like she falls over.
Like she falls over, so I'm like, here we go again,
there could be more meanings to that.
No, she just no. So she falls over, and I'm thinking, here we go again. It's just like last week, and it's only when I look over that I realise there's a dude stood next to her, and he's got her hair in his hands, and he's just fucking He's just fucking smacked her. He's just laid her out, and I take my. Yeah. He's just fucking like laid this woman out, and I took my earphones out, and he said something like, "Oh, I'm not that fucking bad, am I?" And then some people got him away from her, and she like went off crying, and he ended up like walking off. So I'm like, what the fuck? So then later on, she was like still there, and this guy started walking back down. And
you prefaced this with the best view in the world.
No, wait, listen, wait. So, this guy starts walking back down. Two of her mates bum rush the guy.
What? Are we talking 2 women, 2 men? Like what are they like? What are these mates like?
2 women. Bum rush the guy.
How big's the guy? How big are the women?
They're about the same size, so like just a bit taller than me, really.
Okay, so we're talking 5'6".
No, probably more like I say a
5'9".
bit tall. Probably like 5'8", 5'9", probably
Yeah.
like average sort of. So anyway, so they've got him against the wall. They're like roughing him up a bit, and
Well, so her mates are beating him up.
not beating him up,
Just,
like
like,
necessarily.
pinning
They're
him,
not like
like-
kicking it. Yeah, like roughing him up. Anyway, so as this happens, cop van pulls round.
Nice.
Yeah, cop van pulls round. Cops get out, about 4 or 5 police officers, and they start having words with him, and he starts, he's now that the cops are here, now that this cop who literally looks like the fucking mountain from Game of Thrones is staring him down, he's piped up a bit. It's not a woman he can beat anymore. It's a fucking 7 foot tall.
Fucking cunt.
He's piped down, and anyway, he essentially goes to be like, all right, okay, whatever, right, I'm just gonna go home then. I'm just gonna go home, and this massive dude essentially just grabs his arm and pulls out a pair of handcuffs and just slaps him on him, and this entire taxi queue went, whoa!
Yeah! I'm playing the victory music. It's going.
Yeah, everybody went, whoa, you bastard! Yeah! Everybody loved it, and it felt set up because it was like there was a first act, a second act, and a third act.
Yeah.
Like it was
Like a
all
pantomime.
perfect. Yeah, no, exactly. This is why I said it's like a pantomime, and it was so much like a pantomime that as they were putting him in the van, this old lad next to me says, Let him soak up in a cell for a day and then let him off. That's what I say. And then I like immediately I'm like, this is a pantomime, this. And I thought, what would I do if this was a pantomime? And I honestly, God, I put my hands over my mouth so I could yell. And I went, cut his head off.
And what did people think of that?
They loved it.
Did they? Right.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, so essentially that. They took him away, and she was okay. Her friends looked after her, but then there was there were a few other funny things that happened to the taxi rank.
Well, before I say that, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I left earlier than that, because if I'd have seen that happened, I'd have laid him out on the floor.
Yeah, no, I know. The thing is, I realized I would have jumped the guy as well, but the thing is, I realized everything way too late, because she went down, and I didn't look over straight away. I was like, oh, here we go again, and I was still listening to my music.
Someone's just fallen over,
Yeah, I was like, oh, here we go again, and somebody's drunk and just fallen over. So I didn't know until it was over essentially. So. But anyway, so there was some other funny stuff that happened in the taxi rank, I ended up exchanging wisdom with a homeless man. And
that's Judd's level of wisdom. That's how much wisdom Judd has.
Yeah, he said something like he said something like oh God, what was his wisdom that he bestowed upon me? He was like oh, because I was wearing a suit, he thought I was very high class or something. So it's like, you're obviously doing well for yourself, lad. Keep it up, keep going for it, reach for your dreams, stuff like that. And my wisdom for him was
he doesn't know you at all.
I essentially I just stole some. I was like, I need to give him some wisdom now, so I just stole a line from BoJack Horseman. I turned to him and I'm like, this guy doesn't have fucking TV. He's not going to have heard this.
You may as well have gone, well, you know what? With great power comes great responsibility.
I'm like, whoa. But no, I said, and I do actually really like this quote from BoJack Horseman, but it's the bit where BoJack's tried running, and he's on the floor trying to catch his breath, and this sort of guy leans over him and says, it gets easier. Every day it gets a little bit easier, but you have to do it every day. That's the hard part, but it does get easier. And essentially, I said that to him, and it's like, yeah, that's a good one, that, mate. That's a good one. I ended up exchanging.
It's also not true, but
man.
Whatever. Imagine saying that to him, and next day he finds out he's got malaria. What? He was already homeless,
Yeah, you're already homeless, It's terrible.
Fuck,
the last thing I've got to say about the taxi rank experience is I ended up sharing a taxi with a couple because I was the only one getting in this taxi. It was very fucking cold that night, and everybody was standing that taxi for. I probably got a taxi at about 2:45. That's when I got in a taxi, and I'd been in that taxi rank since I think like 1:45.
Yeah, we got home at 3:30 in the morning, so.
Yeah, so I'd been in it for a while, so I was like, I'm gonna. If anybody's going could have away, they might as well share with me. So I ended up sharing it with this couple, and oh my god, they were fucking hilarious. They were so funny, the both of them, and they were like bantering and stuff. I can't remember much of what was said, but I do remember this bit, and I specifically wrote it down as they said it, so I could say on the podcast.
Wow.
And she leaned over and she leaned over to me and went, "Do you want to know what he did to me?" And immediately this guy was like, "Oh fucking hell, don't tell us." I was like, yeah, tell me. It's like, right, so he does this thing where I'll be sat down relaxing or anything like that, and he'll just grab my head and just fart. I'm like, nice, yeah. That's not nice. And anyway, so she goes, anyway, so one time we're in bed, he gets up to get ready, and what does he do? He feels the fart coming, so he presses his bare ass to my forehead and farts. The only thing is, he didn't just fart, he took a big shit on my head. No! I was like, how long ago was this? And then she was like, 4 years. It's when we just started properly seeing each other.
That's the secret to a happy relationship. That's the one.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like, that's fantastic. But anyway, that's like my taxi rank experience.
See, some people have tuned into this podcast thinking, I'm going to get some cool news about, we've been following this fight stuff. I'm going to find out what's happened, all of that. And right at the end of it, they've got a story about a fella shitting on his partner's head. So that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right then, Judd. What I've got to say to that is, what's our summary then? This weekend's been massive. It's been a huge... Everything that's happened is, I've had my fight, which has come up. I've been out and gone to Leeds. I've tried some new food. I'm allowed to eat what I want again. It's been my anniversary. I've not even talked about that. And you've had one of the best Freak of the Weeks I've ever heard. In fact, I'll just play the jingle just so we've got that. Freak of the Week. There you go. I played it. It's cool. That's Freak of the Week jingle. So it's been one of the biggest weekends of my life, at least. What do we think? What's the review?
I mean, it was great. I loved it. It was a really good night out. Even just the night out was just awesome as well. Like that.
Yeah, it was just short and sweet and everything, weren't it?
Yeah. It was just nice. It was great. I loved it.
Loved it. Absolutely perfect. One of the best nights I've ever had. And yeah, if I've forgot to mention something or you want to know something else, tweet at tweetsbadly and let us know. And I think that's a podcast. And as always, our finishing phrase that we end every podcast with: 3, 2, 1. Strangle your dogs.
Cowabunga! Oh, I was. No. See, you said it. You said it.